You know, the older I get, the more I feel like I can understand the Grinch from his perspective in the Dr. Seuss classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And I know there's been many takes upon it since and such. And there's offshoots too that not a lot of people know about. I know about them because I spend too much time on YouTube looking up weird things, not like in a creepy kind of weird, but just strange. And it's called Halloween is Grinch Night. And the Grinch is there with his trusty dog Max, and he has Max pull the paraphernalia wagon down into town so he can throw people through there, and they have like nightmares and weird visions. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, in the Christmas one of the things I get, and the older I get, the more I understand it, is how the Grinch is upset about all the noise, because our world is cluttered with noise, and you want a little bit of peace, but there's too many people with their hoot-tanglers and ding-danglers and whatever else the other crap is, because there's just always a lot going on, you know? Even now, like I pulled over to a wooded area that I kind of like to come spend some time. There's a dam over here. There's a little cemetery and a library. It's usually very quiet. But as I'm sitting here, there's countless cars now behind me, right? It's, don't get distracted by the cars. That's not the purpose of the video. I just noticed it as I was doing this. It's like when we go park somewhere. I'm one of those people, I've always took great pride in my vehicle. When I go to the market or whatever, I always try to park far away from everybody. And odds are when I come out, somebody will always be parked right up against me. And I it's that herd mentality. People want to feel safe, so they want to be with other people. I always want to be alone. There's another Christmas classic too. This is not a Christmas video. I'm filming this in mid-January, but in A Christmas Carol, when they come and ask Ebenezer Scrooge, you know, what he wants to be put down for his donations, and they said, you know, should we? How much can we put you down for? So he's like, nothing. Like, oh, you wish to remain anonymous, sir? No, I wish to be left alone. And there's a big difference between being alone and suffering from loneliness. As we look at the etymology of the word alone, meaning all is one, meaning that we have everything that we need, and loneliness being, you know, just sadness of feeling lonely inside. I think we talked about this in one of the videos before. You can be in a room crowded full of people but still feel very lonely, and I personally struggle with that and understand that. I'm very good when I'm on stage. And you get me off stage and you put me in a party and I feel really awkward. Like I don't feel comfortable around all those people. I feel very lonely. I don't feel connected. I don't know. But that's just one of the things. Anyway, maybe the Grinch also feels that. This wasn't about the Grinch, though. It was just supposed to be a quick aside about the Grinch, because the problem is our world is just too dang noisy. And what we need is as a friend of mine and I were discussing, little pockets of peace, which is a great little term. Just little moments where you can kind of slip away and just be thoughtful or be by yourself and just have a little moment of quiet. Even I don't watch a lot of TV outside of wrestling, to be honest, because I enjoy professional wrestling. And yes, I know it's fake, but every sitcom you watch, every daytime television drama or late night sitcom, they're also fake. In this, though, people are orchestrating a physical activity and telling a story, and sometimes they legitimately do get hurt. And there's a great art to all of it and skill, and I do enjoy it. Anyway, I don't need to defend wrestling to you. If you don't like it, don't watch it. That's why there's so many channels. But our television is so fast-paced and noisy. There's something that is referred to now as slow TV, which I really enjoy. I found it on Netflix. There's one that's just trains. It's just train rides through quiet little sleepy towns and mountain areas. I could sit there and just put that on in the background and just kind of just unwind. Let my brain not be so fast-paced, not be so constantly being inundated with advertisements and nonsense and yelling. There's so much yelling on TV all the time. I don't do well with that either. I have a great struggle with that. It just makes me feel anxious inside. I don't want to watch something that's supposed to be for my entertainment that makes me feel all screwed up inside and nervous. It's not good. But slow TV. There's even one thing that I was watching that was just a a collaboration of all the old little advertisements that they would have at the drive-through, at the drive-in movies rather, for like, let's go out to the lobby, and like the little popcorn's dancing and the hot dogs are dancing. It's a good time. But there's a bunch of them, like for all the different theaters had their own. And it's just a bunch of those put together, and you can kind of put it down and put it on and just relax and just be entertained quietly. Even our TV shows that we watch today, though, if we look at what we watch today versus what we watched 10 years ago, 10 years is not a huge, expansive time. But you go back and you watch a show from 10 years ago, and the pacing of the show is slower. People aren't constantly talking over each other. There's time between the edits, between the cut from one camera to another. It's funny too, like we watch and things look so grainy from back then, because the definition in which we film changes constantly. We go back and we're like, oh my God, how did we ever watch this before? Did we not notice? But we didn't, because we didn't know anything else to compare it to. So that's kind of an interesting thing too. Like our perception changes based upon what we've been, subject to over time. But I used to love watching Nick at Night, back when Nick at Night on Nickelodeon would show The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, the old Addams Family show, Car 54, Where Are You? These shows I thought were fantastic. And Mr. Ed, I love Mr. Ed. But they're slow-paced. There's not a lot of screaming or yelling. There's not a lot of things to cause feelings of anxiety or anger. They're lighthearted. They're funny. And I just feel like now everything is just so fast, so attacking, so diversive all the time. And I feel like we don't have those little pockets of peace anymore. And I think it's important for us to kind of step away from all the things from time to time. And it's important to be truly alone, not feeling lonely, but again, just to be alone. I love to be out in the woods somewhere wandering, and I like going hiking so much, but I don't like when there's a bunch of people around me hiking. I need to either slow down and let them all go, or I need to speed up and get out of the way. I prefer to slow down and let everybody go. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. But I like to have that quietness about me. I don't like to hear people like yelling and laughing, like even in a jovial way, when I'm just trying to have that moment, And those moments are important. I happened to be down by the ocean the other day, and just yesterday, actually. Time is relevant and irrelevant at the same time, but I happened to be down at the ocean yesterday, and nobody else was there. It was dark. It was cold. The ocean was still. The stars seemed really bright. And I just stopped for a moment and just felt good. Felt good about the situation, about the moment, about the little pocket of peace that I was experiencing right then. And I think it's good for us to find those places and those moments in life where we do feel not just peace, but also where we feel small. It's interesting because our world is so big, and what's beyond it even bigger, and we can't even possibly figure out what it all is. They often say the universe is still expanding. Expanding onto what? What else is beyond it? That it's like, I always think like if somebody spilled ink off a desk, you see it slowly start to roll. I don't know who's still using ink and quills. Apparently it's really old up here. But if somebody spilled ink on a desk and you see it start to expand over the top of the desk, and then it eventually drips off the desk and onto the floor. If our universe is expanding, where is expanding outwards to? Like, what else is there? I find that interesting. I think things are very interesting. Not a lot of people think the things I think are interesting, but that's okay because they're for me to think. But I do like to feel small in a big world, and I like to feel like maybe my problems and worries of the day kind of get washed away in those moments. When I see how big the world is, how big our universe is, and how small we are in it, it doesn't mean we're insignificant, but perhaps it means that there's so much more out there for us to be thoughtful of, and to enjoy, and to experience, and to still grow ourselves and to expand ourselves. But it's hard to have those moments when you're at the airport and there's a million people rushing by you and the music in the food court is constantly going and I'm like, oh my God, my brain hurts. Why is everything so loud? It's just, it's crazy. And that's all by design, by the way. I'm not going to get into the whole conspiracy theory of things, but there's stuff out there. Again, YouTube. But seriously, like I really feel like we are meant not to feel so much at peace anymore. We're constantly going. Like in the cartoon Ants, the old Disney cartoon Ants. Like we're all just like, just performing our function, dancing to the beat, told what to do, when to do it, how to do it faster, do it more. It's good to think for yourself. It's good to find moments, maybe out on Mount Crumpet or wherever it is, where it's peaceful, where it's quiet, where you can be thoughtful of things. You can be thoughtful not just of yourself, but of bigger picture things, loftier ideas. Think beyond the day-to-day challenges of this humanistic, materialistic life. Think about all the other things that could be out there. Also, in those moments where we're standing there small in a big world, we can also kind of feel a little bit important. That all of this is here and we're here too. And each of us are a part of it. Each of us have some role to play. And I think a lot of us have been told that role is not that big and that we need to be small and think small. But I think that we're all very important in our own way. And that ripple effect that we have in each other's lives is even more so important. So find those little pockets of peace in your life where you can be thoughtful, where you can be mindful, where you can feel small in a big world, but also big in your own little world. It's a lot of juxtaposition and stuff and a lot of things that make you go, what the hell is this boy talking about? The fact that I'm 45 and still refer to myself as a boy may seem odd, but I feel spiritually I'm still growing. And what better way to grow than to still be a child and to still have the innocence of life? The noisy trucks are rolling past. I think that's our sign from the universe. It's time to wrap up. Find a little pocket of peace. Get away from all those who's in Whoville once in a while. They're not bad people. They're just misguided. Anyway, take care. Have a good one. Find a little peace in your life. Much love.